What if the silence you gave him is the one thing he never expected to break him? He thought you'd fall apart. He thought you'd run after him, beg for another chance, plead for his attention. He thought your world would stop the moment he walked away. But what he didn't prepare for was your silence. No calls, no texts, no explanations, just nothing. And in that quiet space where your love used to live, he's now sitting with the weight of his own choices. Because the truth is, silence speaks louder than words ever could. And right now, it's screaming in his ears. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." And that's exactly what you've done. You didn't fight. You didn't argue. You didn't try to prove your worth. You just stepped back and let the silence do what begging never could, show him exactly what life feels like without your love. That silence is not empty. That silence is power. It is strength. It is the sound of your healing. And he can feel every second of it, even if he never admits it out loud. He expected drama. He expected desperation. He expected you to make the first move. But you did the one thing he never saw coming. You disappeared. And now, he checks his phone and sees nothing. No messages, no missed calls, just silence. And that silence, it's eating at him. Because now he knows. You were never the one who needed him. He was the one who needed you. Think of a house that's always warm, full of light, filled with laughter. That's what you gave him. But he walked out thinking he'd find something better. And now? Now he's standing in the cold, looking back at what he once had, realizing that the warmth he lost wasn't just comfort, it was love. And it's gone. That kind of warmth doesn't wait. That kind of love doesn't beg to be chosen. And the longer you stay silent, the louder it hits him. He had something rare. And now, he can only watch it slip away. This isn't about revenge. This is about power. This is about knowing that the strongest move is sometimes not saying a single word. Not because you're weak, but because you're done explaining your worth. You gave him your heart. You gave him loyalty, softness, patience. But he confused kindness with weakness. And now, the woman he thought would chase him is nowhere to be found. But let me tell you something important. You are not just any woman, number. You are rising, you are changing. You are stepping into a new version of yourself, one that does not beg, one that does not wait, one that does not shrink for love. Beautiful woman, you are becoming something powerful, something untouchable. And soon you will see that this silence, it wasn't about him at all. It was about finding yourself again. He may never admit it. He may never show it. But deep down, he's breaking, not because of anger, not because of revenge, but because of the peace you found without him. Because now, the woman he once thought would never leave is the woman he can never reach again. And that, dear woman, is where you stop being the one who waits and start becoming the queen who reigns. If this message touched something deep inside you, if it reminded you of the power you've always had, but maybe forgot for a moment, then please like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard every single day to bring you real, raw, and powerful content to help you heal, rise, and remember exactly who you are. You deserve that support. You deserve that truth. And we're here to walk that journey with you together. Number 1. He expected a storm, but your calm is tearing him apart. What if the silence he feared the least became the one thing he couldn't survive? He thought you'd lose control. He thought your world would fall apart without him. He expected you to cry, to scream, to send those long messages trying to fix everything. He expected a storm. Wild, chaotic, desperate. But what he got was your calm, your stillness, your silence. And that's what's tearing him apart. Not because you're loud, but because you're not. Not because you're chasing him, but because you stopped. And now, while he sits with the echo of everything he took for granted, you're the one thing he can't silence in his own mind. He thought he had the upper hand. He thought if he left, if he pulled away, you would come running after him, begging for his love. But you didn't. And that calm, that unshaken peace, it's the part that's haunting him now. Because when a woman who once gave everything goes quiet, that's when a man starts to feel the weight of what he lost. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And your reaction was nothing. You didn't fight. You didn't beg. You didn't lower yourself to prove anything. And in that moment, without saying a word, you said everything. You showed him that you were not the one who needed to be chosen. He was the one who failed to choose wisely. Think of a powerful ocean. When a storm hits, the waves crash, the skies roar. But the real danger? It's not always the storm. It's the silence afterward. That dead calm that pulls everything down without a sound. That's you. He was ready for the storm. He wasn't ready for the quiet. And now, your silence is pulling at him, dragging him into the truth he tried to ignore. You were the calm he never deserved, and the peace he will never find again. You gave him love that was patient. You gave him loyalty he didn't have to earn. You stood by him when he was unsure of everything, including himself. And he thought you'd keep doing that, even when he gave you reasons not to. But the day you chose calm over chaos, silence over begging, that's the day the game changed. He thought you'd fold, but you didn't. And now, the storm he expected never came, but the silence he dismissed. That's what's breaking him, piece by piece. Now, beautiful woman, let this truth sink deep into your soul. This was never about getting him back. This was always about getting you back. You didn't lose him. He lost you the moment he expected you to beg. The moment he believed you were too weak to walk away. The moment he underestimated the power of your peace. You are not just surviving, you are transforming. Every second of your silence is building a new version of you. One that doesn't need loud reactions to prove her power. One that doesn't chase love, that doesn't know how to hold her. One that walks with calm because she knows her worth. This, lovely woman, is where you stop being the one who waits and start becoming the one he will never reach again. Now is the time to rise. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to scream your worth. Let your silence say what words never could. Let your peace become the storm he never saw coming. Affirm this in your heart and write it in the comments, queens. My calm is louder than his pride. Let that be your truth. Let that be your power. And if this message spoke to your soul, if it reminded you of the strength in your stillness, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are here, working every day to bring you real, raw, and life-changing lessons to help you rise into your power. You're not just healing, you're evolving. You are not here to beg, you are here to reign. Number 2. He thought he could replace you, but now he's learning. He only replaced his peace with noise. Have you ever seen a man walk into chaos, thinking it was comfort? He thought she would be better. He thought the noise would distract him, fill the void, make him forget the peace you once gave. He believed he was upgrading, but what he didn't realize is he didn't replace you. He replaced his peace with noise. And now that noise is starting to get louder. It's the kind of noise that doesn't bring joy. It brings tension, confusion, emptiness, and the silence you gave him. That's what he misses the most. He didn't expect that silence to hurt. He expected tears. He expected you to fight for him. He thought you'd come back running. But you didn't. You just stopped. No messages, no calls, no begging. And that silence, that stillness, it's driving him deeper into the truth he was trying to avoid. You were the peace. You were the calm. You were the one who made his world feel safe. And now, he's sitting in a storm that he chose, wondering why everything feels so loud and so empty. There's a quote that says, "Sometimes peace is not found in a place, it's found in a person." And you were that person. You didn't just bring him peace, you were the peace. He may not have said it out loud, but deep down he felt it. The way your presence slowed his world down. The way your voice made the noise in his head stop. But now, he's replaced that with a connection that feels loud, rushed, chaotic. And that's the part he didn't see coming. Think of a man standing at the edge of a calm lake. The water is still, peaceful, clear. But he turns away, chasing the sound of crashing waves. He runs to the ocean, thinking the noise will feel exciting. And at first, it does. But soon, he realizes, he can't breathe there, he can't think. And all he wants now is to go back to the calm, back to the quiet, back to the woman who made him feel safe. But the lake is gone, and you, beautiful woman, have already walked away. In relationships, it's easy for people to confuse peace with boredom. He thought calm meant ordinary. He thought soft meant replaceable. He wanted something louder, more thrilling. But now that he's in the middle of it, he's learning a lesson the hard way. Noise does not equal love. And comfort does not mean weakness. You were the balance in his chaos. And your silence, it's showing him just how loud his world has become without you in it. He thought you would break. He thought you needed him more than he needed you. But now he's learning that silence is a mirror. And what he sees in it is himself. Without your energy, without your presence, without your peace, he feels lost. The noise around him can't cover it up anymore. The conversations feel shallow. The connection feels forced. And you're no longer in his reach. But this isn't about him anymore. This is about you, beautiful woman. This is your turning point. The moment where you stop carrying the weight of his choices and start carrying your crown. The silence he tried to ignore is the same silence that's setting you free. You don't have to shout to be powerful. You don't have to prove anything to be worthy. Your peace speaks louder than anything you could say. And now, it's time to protect that peace, like the rare gift it is. You gave him the chance to choose you. You gave him love, softness, peace, and he walked away. But now he'll sit with that noise while you walk into your next chapter, stronger, calmer, wiser, because the real power was never in the noise. The real power was in your silence. Dear woman, you are not weak for walking away without a word. You are not cold for protecting your peace. You are not heartless for choosing yourself. You are finally seeing yourself clearly. And now, it's time to rise. Write this in the comments and claim it. He replaced his peace with noise. Now I protect mine with silence. Let this be your reminder that you never lost. You let go. And queens, if this message reminded you of your worth, your strength, your power, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you life-changing lessons that remind you who you really are. Because your silence isn't empty. It's full of everything he never appreciated. And now, you reign. Number 3. He thought you were soft until you walked away without a single word. What if the softest woman turns out to be the one who walks away the quietest and leaves the deepest mark? He thought you were soft. He looked at your kindness, your patience, your loyalty, and he assumed you'd never leave. He thought your love made you weak. He believed you would wait forever, answer every message, forgive every mistake, and always be there when he came back. But what he didn't see coming was the day you walked away. No yelling, no begging, no warnings. Just silence. And now, that silence is louder than anything you could have said. It's not just breaking his ego, it's breaking him. He expected chaos, he expected tears, he expected you to fall apart without him, but instead, you vanished like the calm before a storm. You didn't lose control, you gained it. Because sometimes the most powerful move isn't the one that makes noise. It's the one that leaves without looking back. And right now, that silence is echoing in his world like thunder in an empty room. Seneca once said, "Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power." And Queen, that's what you're learning. He thought you were soft because you gave him all of you, because you listened, because you stayed. But true softness isn't weakness, it's control. The kind of control that allows you to leave quietly, without begging, without trying to prove anything. And that kind of silence, that's the one thing his pride wasn't ready for. Think of a candle, a single flame lighting up the darkest room. It doesn't shout, it doesn't move. But the moment it's gone, the whole space feels different. That's you. He didn't notice how much light you brought until you were no longer there. Now everything around him feels cold, empty, and there's no one left to blame. Because you didn't argue, you didn't plead, you just left. And he's left with himself, his choices, his silence. This is where the real shift happens. This is where you stop letting his opinion define your worth. Because walking away without a single word, that's not weakness, that's power, that's self-respect. That's the moment you decided your peace was more important than being chosen by someone who couldn't see your value. And now, he sits there wondering where you went, wondering why it hurts so bad, wondering why silence feels like punishment. But it's not punishment, it's protection. Your silence is not revenge, it's recovery. Beautiful woman, this is the moment you stop shrinking yourself to fit into a space that couldn't hold you. This is the moment you rise, not with noise, not with anger, but with grace. He didn't expect it. He thought you'd stay soft forever. But what he missed is that softness doesn't mean staying small. It means knowing when to love and when to walk away. He didn't break you. He revealed you. He pushed you into the woman you were always meant to be. And now, you're not the one waiting. You're not the one crying. You are becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone calmer, someone who doesn't have to explain her worth. And that silence, it's rewriting your story. This isn't just about a breakup. This is about transformation. This is about becoming the woman who doesn't chase love, because she is love. This is about becoming the kind of woman who doesn't explain her silence, because it speaks for itself. You gave your all, and now you're giving yourself something better, freedom. Dear lady, you are not broken. You are rising from the ashes of disappointment with fire in your eyes and grace in your step. You are no longer soft for the wrong man. You are powerful for yourself. He thought you'd crumble without him. He thought you'd beg. But what he got instead? A woman who mastered the art of walking away and made silence a lesson he'll never forget. Write this in the comments and claim it, queens. My silence is strength, not surrender. Let the world know that you are no longer explaining, no longer chasing, no longer waiting. You've already chosen yourself. And if this message awakened something deep inside you, if it reminded you of who you truly are and what you truly deserve, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you real, life-changing lessons because you were never meant to beg. You were meant to reign. Number 4, he's realizing too late that losing your voice meant losing his anchor. Have you ever watched a man search for something and not even realize it was gone until the silence got too loud? That's what's happening now. He didn't notice when your voice started fading. He didn't pay attention when your tone changed. He didn't care when the calls stopped, when the messages slowed, when you stopped checking in. He thought it was just space. He thought you needed time. But what he didn't know was that your silence was not a pause. It was a goodbye. And now he's finally realizing that losing your voice meant losing the only anchor he ever had. You used to be his calm in chaos, his safe place when the world turned cold. You gave him your energy, your time, your softness. You were his light in dark places, but he took it for granted. He thought you'd always be there, speaking life into him, loving him through his storms. He never thought you'd fall silent. He never thought you'd walk away without a warning. But you did. And now, that silence, it's screaming louder than your love ever did. There's a quote that says, "Sometimes silence is the only language pain understands." That's what your silence is doing now. It's not revenge. It's not a game. It's the natural result of someone who's been pushed too far, too often. You spoke with love. You asked with care. You stayed patient, thinking things would change. But he didn't. And now he's learning the most painful truth of all. He lost you while thinking he still had time. Think of a lighthouse standing tall near the ocean. That was you, always there, always shining, always showing him the way back. Even in his darkest nights, even when he drifted away, you were there. But he stopped noticing. He stopped looking. And now the light is gone. He's lost at sea, and all he wants is to find that safe glow again. But you're no longer waiting on the shore. You've left the storm behind. This is what happens when a man confuses consistency with dependence. When he believes that just because you love deeply, you'd stay forever. He forgot that even the softest hearts grow tired. He never realized that the quietest woman can carry the loudest strength. Now he's sitting in the silence, and it's heavy. It's haunting. It's hollow. Because when a woman like you goes quiet, it means the love is no longer there to give. But this isn't just about what he lost. This is about what you're becoming. You're stepping into something deeper now, a version of yourself that doesn't need to be heard to be powerful, a version that doesn't explain, doesn't chase, doesn't beg. You're becoming the woman who speaks through energy, not effort, through presence, not pleading. You are no longer a voice trying to be understood. You are an energy that no longer waits to be noticed. Beautiful woman, this is your time. The moment where you let go of trying to fix what was never yours to carry. The moment you release the weight of his confusion, his indecision, his disrespect. You're not here to prove your worth to a man who couldn't hear your truth when you were screaming it with love. You're here to rise, quietly, gracefully, powerfully. You're no longer the woman who needs to explain why she left. You are the woman who no longer needs to, because he knows. And he'll carry that knowing in the silence you left behind. the kind of knowing that keeps him up at night, the kind that follows him into new relationships, the kind that reminds him of the one woman he can never get back. So now, lovely woman, you rise, not for him, not for revenge, but for the version of you that was waiting beneath the hurt. You are not broken. You are the calm after the storm. You are not desperate. You are the peace he never thought he'd lose. You are not begging. You are building. And that silence he's sitting in, that is the echo of your strength. Affirm this in the comments and claim your power. My silence is my strength, and he will never escape it. Number 5. He doesn't miss your voice. He misses the safety it brought. Have you ever noticed how quiet can feel louder than a scream? He doesn't miss your voice because of the words you used to say. He misses the safety it carried, the calm it gave him, the peace it brought into his chaos. Back then, he didn't even realize it. He heard your voice every day and took it for granted. He thought it would always be there, soft and steady, guiding him through the storms he created. But now, all he hears is silence, and it's tearing him apart in ways he never expected. He thought you'd beg, he thought you'd cry, call, chase. But instead, you walked away, quiet, calm, untouched, and that's what's breaking him. The silence is not just silence. It's a reminder of what he lost. It's the echo of your love that used to be his anchor. He's learning now that silence is not empty. It's full of all the things he should have valued, but didn't. Seneca once said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage, and right now your silence is that act of courage. You are choosing peace over chaos, dignity over desperation. You are choosing to step back even when your heart wanted to speak. That is not weakness. That is power. That is Stoic strength in its purest form." He misses the voice that said, "You'll be okay." He misses the voice that believed in him when no one else did. He misses the softness that made his world feel less hard. But he doesn't miss it for the right reasons. He misses it because it made him feel safe. It gave him a space to rest, to breathe, to be held without being judged. And now that it's gone, he realizes just how rare it was. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't chase the ships. It just stands tall, shining. But when the light goes out, the sea feels darker. That's you. You were the light in his storm, and now that you're no longer there to guide him, he's lost. He may not say it, he may not show it, but inside he's feeling every second of your absence, like waves crashing against his soul. In relationships, sometimes it's not the loud fights or harsh words that leave the deepest scars. It's the silence after the goodbye, the quiet after the love stops reaching out. That's what he's facing now. Not just the loss of a woman, but the loss of a sanctuary, a home, a voice that once made everything feel safe. But this pain, it's not yours anymore to carry. You gave everything. You stayed when you should have walked. You spoke love when he gave you silence. But now the roles have changed. Now it's your silence that speaks. And it speaks volumes. You are not just the woman who left. You are the woman who rose, a woman who no longer pours into empty spaces, a woman who no longer whispers love into places that echo with neglect. And that, beautiful soul, is where your power begins. You are not heartless. You just stopped handing your heart to someone who never learned how to hold it. You are not cold. You just stopped warming people who stood in your fire and still shivered. You are not cruel. You just stopped softening your voice for someone who never listened. And now? Now it's time. Time to step into the woman you've always been. The one who doesn't need to beg. The one who doesn't chase. The one who reigns. Majestic woman, your silence is not weakness. It is a storm wrapped in stillness. It is your power, fully awakened. He will feel it every time he reaches for his phone and sees nothing. Every time he thinks of you and feels that ache, that emptiness. That's your absence, and it is the most powerful thing he's ever felt. So rise now, not with noise, not with drama, but with grace, with strength, with silence so loud it shakes the ground he walks on. Write this in the comments and claim it. My silence is louder than his pride. Number 6. He broke something he thought would bend, and now the silence is louder than his pride. Have you ever watched a glass crack in slow motion? At first it looks strong, unbreakable even, but with one wrong move, one tiny shift in pressure, the whole thing shatters. That's what happened with him. He thought you'd bend. He thought he could keep testing your limits, pushing your heart, pulling away and coming back like it was a game. He never thought you'd actually break the pattern. He never imagined you'd go silent. But now, that silence is louder than his pride. It's echoing in every corner of his life, and it's breaking him in ways he never expected. He thought you were weak. He thought your love meant you would always stay. That no matter how cold he acted, how distant he became, how many times he made you feel like an option, you would keep showing up. He believed he could bend you and you'd bounce right back. But when you went quiet, when you stopped calling, stopped explaining, stopped waiting, that was the moment the power shifted. Because now he's the one left wondering. He's the one staring at a phone that never lights up. He's the one stuck in the silence he thought would never come. Seneca once said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." And Queen, that's what you did. You chose to live. You chose to walk away with dignity instead of breaking yourself to stay. You chose silence, not out of defeat, but out of strength. And that silence, it's not empty. It's full of everything he never appreciated. It's full of love he took for granted. It's full of loyalty he confused with weakness. And now, he sits in it. He feels it every single day. Think of a bridge, strong, steady, holding weight year after year. That bridge was you. You carried his pain, his moods, his uncertainty, always hoping he'd finally meet you halfway. But when he pushed too far, when he assumed you'd never walk away, you stopped carrying the weight. And without your support, that bridge collapsed. Now he's stuck on the other side, looking across at the place where you once stood, realizing he can't reach you anymore. And this time, there's no way back. You didn't scream, you didn't beg, you didn't try to convince him of your worth, and that's what's tearing him up the most. Because silence is not the sound of defeat, it's the sound of transformation. And right now, he is watching you change, watching you rise, watching you shift from the woman he thought would never leave to the woman he can never replace. At first, he was proud. He told himself you'd come back. He believed it was just a phase, but with every day that passes, he feels that pride slowly turning into panic, into guilt, into regret. Because the woman who gave him everything is now giving him nothing, not even a goodbye. And that's the kind of heartbreak he never prepared for. But, beautiful woman, this isn't about him anymore. This is about you. This is about the moment you realized that bending yourself to keep him was never love. It was survival. And you're not surviving anymore. You're living. You're rising. You are walking into a new season of your life, one where your love is not a weapon used against you, but a crown placed upon your head. Yes, he broke something he thought would bend. But now, you're not picking up the pieces for him to step on again. You're building something new, with stronger walls, clearer boundaries, and a version of yourself he no longer deserves to know. Because now, you are becoming a queen, not because someone gave you permission, but because you finally remembered who you are. Dear woman, you are not broken. You are reborn in silence, in power, in peace. Your silence isn't empty. It's sacred. It's a throne, and you are sitting on it with unshakable grace. So when he remembers you, and he will, he won't remember the woman who begged. He'll remember the woman who left without a word, the woman whose silence screamed louder than any "I love you" he ever heard. And by then, you'll be untouchable. Queens, repeat this to yourself and write it in the comments. My silence is louder than his pride. Let it sink deep into your spirit. Let it guide you forward. And if this message spoke to your soul, if it reminded you of the fire, the peace, and the power inside you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard every single day to bring you life-changing lessons to help you rise, rebuild, and reign. Your story isn't over. In fact, it's just getting started.